Let's talk about something that every successful advisor faces, the ceiling. You built a thriving practice, something that you've been dreaming about, but now you're starting to get burnt out. You're missing family time. You're probably working nights, maybe weekends, early mornings, and you're just wondering, is this even sustainable? But the thing is, growth doesn't have to come with sacrifices. You can actually build a business and still have a great family life at the same time. The advisors who scale successfully without burning out, they do 5 things very differently. And I'm going to go through these 5 things in this video today. Hey, this is Cory Swain, and I'm a vice president here at Advisors Excel. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe button because we've got a ton of value here in this video as well as on our page that we're going to be putting out to you. If you're an independent advisor that's looking to grow and scale your business and you want to make sure you don't hit those ceilings, you don't hit the speed bumps that a lot of other advisors have on your way to building really something special. Number 1, stop being the bottleneck for your business. A big mistake that we see a lot of advisors do is they build the business all around themselves. And it creates this bottleneck because everything revolves around you. And you become this rainmaker that's irreplaceable. And this creates 3 problems. Number 1, you can't even take time off. You can't go on a family vacation without checking in or them checking in or them giving you phone calls or you looking at your emails during the entire vacation. You can't just completely check out because your business revolves around you. Number 2, your team cannot be empowered. They don't feel empowered to make decisions while you're away. And number 3, you'll hit a ceiling where there's just not enough time in the day to keep growing. So what to do instead in order to fix this problem is you need to start documenting everything. Document specifically your client meeting process from the beginning all the way through the end. The questions you ask, the things that you do in those meetings, but then also on the service side of things, when you're meeting with the current clients, what are the things that you like to go through? What are the questions you like to ask them? Go through that meeting process so that way if you do bring on associate advisor or somebody else that can start to do these meetings, they know exactly what to do. They're not just watching you and trying to replicate, they actually have a documented process that they can go back to and start to look at these certain bullet points, the certain questions that you want everybody to go through and you want your clients being handled while you're away. Now, once you've had everything documented, you start to look at what clients you're willing to hand off to an associate advisor. If you have an associate advisor, that's an entirely different video that we can go through at one point in time. But if you have an associate advisor, you need to start looking at which clients, your Bs, your Cs, if you have your different grades of different clients, and which ones are you willing to hand off to this associate advisor so that way they can start to take things off of your plate and once again remove that bottleneck from your business. The goal isn't to remove yourself completely. This is just to get some things off your plate so that you can continue to grow and scale your business without being burnt out. Because right now, it sounds like you're doing everything. It feels like you're probably doing everything. And so if you're meeting with current clients, you're meeting with the Cs, the Bs, frankly, the clients that you probably don't want to work with, but you still think they're great clients to your firm, but they're taking up a lot of your time. Those are the types of people that we can get to your associate advisors. That way you can start to move and start to grow your business moving forward. And delegation is not about losing control. You're not losing what you're trying to do or losing anything that you're currently doing that you do really, really well. Delegation is about building leaders and gaining leverage for your business. Number 2, build systems, not heroics. All right, so burnout happens when you're trying to be the hero every single day. You walk in and there's probably a fire that needs to be put out, meaning you have to call some client that's upset that they called in and your team didn't know how to handle, or you need to call this insurance carrier, you need to call the landlord, or there's certain things that you need to do immediately and you're not delegating enough of these things to your team. But then there's also just not systems built so that your team knows what to do when these fires arrive. And you are the hero. You're the one that comes in and saves the day. The problem with that is that a business cannot be scalable if you're the hero every single day. The top advisors know how to delegate and build systems to where the team knows how to operate and the team knows how to run them. So there's 3 systems that every practice needs to scale. And number 1 is your prospect funnel. You need this completely processed out to where it's a system, you know where leads are going, where they're coming in from, and then no leads are getting dropped. If you're paying for all these leads, you're paying a good amount of money and you're doing all the marketing to get them into your funnel, you need a system that's fully documented out so your team knows how to run this. But then more importantly, you don't lose any leads that are falling through any sort of cracks. And number 2, you need a client onboarding system. Now, right now, it's probably being run by 1 or 2 or 5 people in your office, and there might not be anything written down. You probably got people that know how to do a good job of making sure that new client feels loved on and they get some phone calls, maybe there's some gifts. But if you don't have a system that's actually written out with gifts, and there's certain things like there's note cards that are being sent on a certain day, there's emails being sent on certain days. If you don't have that actually written out, your team, if one or two people that actually run this thing are out and you don't have other people that know what to do, that's going to really, really hurt your business. And that's just clearly just not scalable. And number 3 is a team communication system. This is actually something that's way overlooked in most advisor businesses because you're running very hard. If you've got a good team, if you've got a lot of A players, everybody's probably running extremely hard. They know their roles, they know what to do. But you probably don't have some sort of system of when you're meeting, when you're coming together and communicating on what's actually happening. Because if you're doing a lot of marketing, you've got client meetings coming in every single week, you've got people on vacations coming in, coming out. A lot of things can fall through the cracks. But your team actually needs a system on when you're communicating. That means like how many meetings you're having per week. Do you have a marketing meeting? Do you have a sales meeting? Do you have a Monday morning meeting where your entire team comes together? Do you have a quarterly meeting to look back at your current numbers, look at KPIs? You need to have a system of how often your team is coming together, communicating, seeing how far you are in your goals for the year, how far you are in regards to quarters and KPIs. You need that system documented to know. Your team really needs to know that track that they're running on. And a lot of times it comes down to meetings. We don't always love meetings, but your team needs meetings in order to operate efficiently. And when you have systems, your business runs on the tracks, not on your coffee addiction. And systems might feel constraining at first, but it's actually what creates freedom in your business and in your personal life. Before we keep going, you might be watching this and thinking, I don't know if I really want to scale to be that big. Maybe I just want a couple advisors underneath me and have a good lifestyle style of practice, and I have a couple advisors and I can still actually take vacation and my business runs on its own. Or you are thinking like, no, I want to scale this thing. I want to have multiple advisors. I want to be able to be the, rainmaker or the person that actually does all the marketing and my advisors run the leads. And I'm really kind of stepping back and really running the business. Or you might be thinking, no, I really don't want many advisors underneath me. Maybe I don't want any. I like meeting one-on-one and I might need somebody to do the marketing and lead flow and all of that. There's different ways to build your business. And that's what's so awesome about being an independent financial advisor, because you can literally build whatever you want. And here at Advisors Excel, we've created the Advisor Success Track because we don't believe that there's one cookie cutter way to build a business. And so what you can do is just click the link in the description below of this video, and you can actually see which track is best suited for you. We've got multiple different proven paths that you can take a look at. You can see other advisors and other businesses that they've built out, and then you can see which track you want to run on and which track you want to build. All right, number 3, hire for the role and not just bodies. And also hire before you're ready. So what ends up happening is as advisors grow and scale their business and things are starting to work, marketing's starting to work, your sales are starting to work, you end up starting to have these little fires throughout your business and you're like, oh, I need bodies. I need people to come in here and help me. And what ends up happening is you end up hiring your sister or your aunt or your buddy, your golf buddy and his son. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you got a bunch of people in there and they're working, they're putting out the fires, it's working, but you end up having to manage people. And that's not scalable. If you're spending a lot of time trying to put out fires and this person's really not fit for that role, you just have bodies trying to basically help put out problems that you have in your industry, in your business. And so you just really don't have the actual specific roles and you haven't really drawn out the organization that you're trying to build. And so the problem with hiring all your friends or your family is that you haven't hired for anything specific. And then you end up having to manage to their specific role, and that's taking more time away from you that you could have just done it yourself. And so you have a lot of issues, and that's what keeps people from scaling and growing faster or as fast as they should. And so when you have just bodies trying to fit roles, they're not excelling in their job, and you have a lot of turnover. We see this a lot in advisors that are growing really quickly, is they have a lot of costly turnover. And when you lose people, you're spending even more time finding the right people. And you just keep going this cycle where you lose people and you go hire them again, and you lose people and you go hire them again. And it really keeps you from growing to the business that you want to build. And that's where the burnout really starts to happen. You start getting frustrated that, hey, I know how to sell, I know how to do marketing, but this whole business side of things, the scaling side of things, the systems, it's just not working. And I'm getting really tired and burnt out, and I'm losing that time with my family. That's where you really start to have the issues. So what you should do instead is you really got to sit back and think about the business that you're trying to build. Look at your business 3 years from now and draw an org chart or organizational chart. I don't know if you learned that in business school or anything like that, where you actually look at the roles that you need in your business. I mean, you can Google it if you want. There's plenty of specific examples of org charts out there, but really look at what is your business going to be in 3 years from now on the trajectory that you're on, and look at the different roles and then build that out. Then look at your org chart now. It might be you plus 2 other people, and it might even just be a flat org chart, or it might be just you at the top with a couple other people. Then you really need to look at the gap. How do you get this org chart to be the other org chart? And what are the roles that you need to specifically hire? Do we need to hire associate advisors? Do you need help more on the marketing and sales? Do you need more help on the admin side of things and actually running the current business and the current clients that you have? And this might seem a little bit crazy, but hire before you're ready. You're growing. You know you're going to grow. You're a driven entrepreneur, so you know you're going to keep growing. And so go ahead and hire before you're ready. Don't wait to hire when you already have the problems and the fires going everywhere and you got clients upset and your team's upset and they're like, oh, I need to get somebody in now. No, you need to hire before you're ready. If you're already in that, I get it. You need to hire now. But then also maybe think about hiring an extra person and think about the roles that they're going to do, because you need to hire before you're ready. That's how you scale. That's how you grow. And that's how you remove the burnout on yourself, but then also remove the burnout on your team. So what we need to do first is really look at what our business looks like right now, but then also look at 3 to 5 years from now. What do I want my business to look like? What are the roles that need to define that business? What does the organizational chart look like? So if you know what an org chart looks like, what do you want it to actually look like 3 to 5 years from now? So right now, if this is you, and I don't know what your business looks like specifically, but I'm going to draw it out as far as a scalable business. You're really going to have like the sales element. So this still could be you, but more than likely you want another advisor here. So you have your sales advisor here, and then you got your marketing people here. And so you have a role in marketing, and then you have your admin staff. But it's really your current clients. But we're going to put admin staff here. And these all have different roles, but you're really dividing up your business between your marketing, who's actually helping people get through the door, get into the front door, and then who are actually making the sales, the advisors here, and then who are on the admin staff. And so this, right now, this could be a very simple way to scale, where you've got you're the salesperson, but you're overseeing all of this, but you also have some help here on your current clients, but then also on your prospects coming in. And then this can also grow, but as this is a good structure 3 to 5 years from now, if this is what you look like right now. So if this is your office, more than likely, it probably kind of looks like you have this admin person that also does marketing, that might even help with onboarding. And they have another person that's kind of doing the same stuff. And everybody's kind of wearing the same hats. And you probably don't even have a sales advisor over here. So it might even be just everybody basically has the same types of roles, but it's really not an org chart, because you're basically doing all these things, and it's kind of just one big mess. And where do we want to go to? We want to make it where you have leaders in each individual departments. And you can still be leading certain departments as you grow, but eventually, with the delegation that we've been talking about, you delegate to build leaders and to build leverage in your business. And advisors who scale successfully, they're building a team, not just a group of employees. Number 4, protect your energy like you protect the revenue in your business. So burnout in business is not a badge of honor. It's a warning sign. Here's something that most advisors don't talk about is energy management is more important than time management. You've got all the time in the world, but if your energy is depleted, you're not leading your team well. And when you're scaling a business and you have, once again, going back to the org chart, if you have an actual team that has their roles, they're going to get depleted if you're depleted. And so if your energy is not being protected just as much as you protect that revenue, they're going to feel it, and everybody's going to start to get burnt out. And so you really need to lead your team efficiently. So you really need to protect your energy. So if you're not sure if your energy is depleted, or you don't really know what I'm talking about, here's a few signs that actually show you that your energy is depleted. 1, Monday mornings, aren't that exciting to you anymore. You used to be excited to go into work every single Monday. You look at your calendar, you look at all the prospects that you have coming up, and you got excited about that next sale. So if you dread Monday mornings, your energy is probably depleted. Another thing that I'm guilty of about when I get burnt out is you start to get short with your team and your family. Your patience is just now really, maybe it was pretty good for a long time, and it just starts to get lower and lower and lower, and you start to get short with team members that you really weren't short with before. Maybe you go home and you're short with your family, short with your kids. And that's just not a good environment for anybody to be around you. And so that's a really big warning sign that you are just starting to lose that energy for your business, and you're taking it out everywhere else. And one of the last things is you're just not genuinely excited. And you don't even know when the last time you were genuinely excited about the work you do. Because when you first got into this business, I'm sure you were super excited. You're excited about the hurdles, the speed bumps, the things that you're going through. And now they feel like weight. They feel like an extra burden on you. And that's a big sign that your energy is depleted. So if any of that actually resonated with you and you do feel like your energy is being depleted, here's a few things that you can combat that. So one of the things is block focus time. Some of the best advisors in this industry, they block a ton of focus time for themselves. It's really just a block of time on their calendar where they can sit back and think about the business, think about the issues that they're going through, and then work to solve them. One of the best books on this topic is a book by Keith Cunningham. It's called The Road Less Stupid. And it's kind of a funny title, but it's all about this thinking time, blocking time on your calendar to really think about your business. And inside the book, he's got plenty of questions to ask yourself to really start to dive into some of the issues that you have in your business. And then you start every single block with a different type of question that really helps you understand your business. And you can walk away from there. Maybe you didn't solve anything, but you have a clear mind on the issues that you're facing. You took some time to actually think through, what are the issues that I'm facing in my business and how would I go about solving them? And maybe you can't solve them right now, but you started to get that wheel turning, so that way the next time you have thinking time, you can sit back and remove that stress a little bit and think through, what am I going to do to tackle this issue? And the next thing would be to batch similar tasks. So look at your calendar, and you might have client meeting, you might have a marketing meeting, and then another client meeting, and then maybe you have another meeting with your buddy outside of work, and it's just kind of all over the place. Batch similar tasks, it makes you more efficient. So if you batch your client meetings together, or batch your internal meetings together on certain days, or maybe you do some video or some radio and batch those all together, so that way you're not jumping from one thing to the next thing, and that really is messing with your mind. If you're trying to jump from sales with a current client, or sales with a prospect, and then jump into a current client meeting, that's a completely different meeting. So try to batch that on your calendar, so that way you're not getting that burnout and not ruining your energy that you have. Another thing that top advisors do to keep this burnout and to protect their energy is to say no. Say no to the extra opportunities. There's no shortage of opportunities as you grow and as you become more and more successful as an advisor. There's always more and more opportunities. So it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to maybe the extra charity that's trying to ask you for money, or the extra person that's trying to ask you for that extra meeting, or that extra coffee, or that extra lunch, or even the current client that wants to meet with you more and more and more. It's okay to say no. You need to. In order to protect yourself, you need to protect your time. And one of the last things is take a break. Take some time off. You're starting to build a real business that can be good without you, that it can run without you, at least for a week or two, right? You can take a week off, not check in, not have to call the office. If you're really going through these steps of building a scalable business, you should be able to take a week off. Go on a vacation and don't take your phone, or put your phone away and let your team handle the fires. You need it. You need to be able to protect your energy and to protect your vacation time with your family. And last thing, number 5, build a business around your life, not the other way around. And some of the most successful advisors, they know their why. And so you should too. So this is a big mindset shift for successful advisors like yourself that's really looking to grow and scale. Because when you first got into it, it was really just build your business and keep going. It was all about the business, all about the next sale, all about the next marketing thing you're trying to do to get the more prospects in the funnel. Now, start to think about building the business around your personal life. Like, what exactly do you want personally in your life? What are your personal goals that you want to accomplish 3, 5, 6 years from now? What do you actually want to do? And then build the business around that schedule. Build the business around what you want to do personally. That's a big shift from when you first started and first got into this business, but now you've actually built a a really successful business that's thriving, that's moving. And now we're talking about org charts and hiring the right people. So really build the business around your personal life, not the other way around. So here's a few questions to ask yourself. What does your ideal work week look like? So how many client meetings can I really handle per week while still being present at home? And what's the revenue target that actually allows me to live the life that I really want while accomplishing my personal goal? Now we're going to reverse engineer your business around your life. So let's start with your life goals. What does your family look like? What does your personal life look like? What are the hobbies that you want to do? What does your life look like 3, 5, 10 years from now? Really take a look at it. Take time away from your business to really look at this, because this makes a massive difference.